Hi there, it's Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre talking to you today about the Seaskins Wired, hot wired should I say, sorry, for winter 2014 into 2015. So the hot wired series has been around for a couple of years now. It used to be the wired was the top suit with Seaskins, and now they've basically introduced the hot wired. And the idea is that they didn't really want to change the wired too much, so they made another suit which is the hot wired, which has introduced a lot of the technology which has come about in the last couple of years, such as that sort of like thermal polypro lining that's all fluffy. And so what I'll do is walk you through the suit in a second, tell you a little bit about Seaskins first. Seaskins are a UK-based company, but now have people selling wetsuits. So their wetsuits are all over the world. And really good quality wetsuits. The hot wired is specifically made for UK waters or really, really cold water. And so it's become a really popular brand in the UK, and it's getting more and more popular overseas. People with cold water that want a good, traditional, thick, chunky wetsuit that's going to make sure it keeps them nice and warm. And that's exactly what Seaskins do. They know about cold water, and there's no compromise for just thick neoprene. Okay, so you have a lot of suits which are boasting a lot of technology, which is great, does keep you warmer, but there is no excuse for it. If you need warmth in 5 or 6 degree water, you can't get around the fact that you need a good, chunky, thick neoprene. And that's exactly what they do. They do a 5.4 in this suit. They actually do a 6.54 as well in the hooded version. But if you have a look at that, nice and thick, that's going to keep you warm. And that 5mm is on the lower body, and then you get the 4mm on the upper body here. Now, recently, Seaskins have spent a lot of time and money and research in terms of the actual shape of the wetsuit. And they've come up with what they call Future Fit, which is hopefully going to ensure that the wetsuit fits the majority of people. So as long as you stick to the size chart, you shouldn't go going too far wrong. They are notoriously hard to get in and out of, the Seaskins wetsuits. I've actually had a hot wired for last year, and without sounding too biased, but I do really, really like the suit. Fits my shape really good. I have the medium tall, and I'm 6 foot, 6'1", and sort of about 85 kilograms. And so the suit fits really good. They are hard to get in and out of, I'm not going to lie, it is a mission, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And I always think that the harder a suit is to get in and out of, hopefully the better it will be at keeping water out as well. But yeah, fantastic suit. The good thing about Seaskins as well, because they're a UK-based company, they're trying to make their name. The suits come out of the same factory as most of the other people like O'Neill, so the Shaco factory over in Asia, in China. And a lot of the technology is very similar, or exactly the same as the suits you're going to find elsewhere, say from O'Neill and from Billabong, those sort of people. But hopefully a little bit less of the cost, because they're trying to give you more for your money with Seaskins. Okay. Some years they get it right, some years it's some things a little bit wrong, but they're great. They're open to feedback, really good with their warranties, and also they are quite happy to sort of develop the suits in line with what people are saying. So it's good to have a sort of a smaller company where you can give feedback and it actually gets taken on board. So this year they've definitely got it right. They kept it pretty similar to last year. The hot wired for us last year was a real success story, and a very, very warm wetsuit. So for those that are looking for sort of a warmer wetsuit, maybe you're going to compromise a little bit on the flexibility because there's so much, so the neoprene's so thick and there's so much technology going inside. It does make the suit heavier, but having said that, it is very, very warm. Okay, so 5.4, 5mm on the lower body up to here, and then you basically get 4mm over the arms where you need a bit more flexibility. This is super stretch neoprene, whatever you call it. This is Seaskins' highest quality neoprene throughout the whole of the top of the suit. It's called C-Flex, but basically that's the most high quality stretchy neoprene the whole way through the suit, which is going to give you loads of movement and less restriction. Any seams on the suit are bent seams to make sure that they match the contours of the body and don't restrict you in any way. Okay. All the panels of neoprene are thought about very carefully to make sure they don't interfere with paddle, and they don't sit uncomfortably against the skin. Okay, the seams themselves are what's called the power seam, so you might be familiar with those. They're in most of the suits these days. XL have got a version, O'Neill have definitely got a version, and basically what that is where the two pieces of neoprene are butted up together and then glued. There's no stitching, and the idea is that if you don't have any stitching, similar to swimming wetsuits and triathlon wetsuits, you get more flexibility. Okay. Just to reinforce those seams, they then do use the power seam technology, which is very thin liquid taping across the seam just to reinforce it and make sure that no water gets in. And then on the inside of the wetsuit, what they do is they tape it, and that tape just creates another barrier, reinforces the seam and stops any water getting through. Okay, and it should give you more durability and a longer shelf life to the suit. Okay, and that's the whole way through all of the seams, that taping with the hot wired. Okay, so it's a nice little touch. Now they do like a closed cuff on here as well, which was previously exclusive to the XL suits, but it's a really nice little touch. Just closes the, seals the suit around your wrist, make sure you don't get any flush through, stops water running up through the cuff, and also creates a better bond with your glove. So the idea is keeping out the maximum amount of water. Okay. So running through the other parts of the suit, you've got smooth skin mesh on the chest here, basically, which keeps wind off the wetsuit, stops wind penetrating the suit and getting you cold. You've got that around the lumbar region as well, around the back. Okay. No seam across the bum, which I like. Don't like the bum seams personally. And around the back of the knee, you get an embossed part of the wetsuit, which creates a better curve and movement through the back of the suit. And one thing that's exclusive to Seaskins, I haven't seen this in another suit, you get that around the inside of the elbow as well. Nice little touch. Okay, the chest zip system is pretty much similar with most people these days. You get the chest zip system's actually sewn over the top of the inside of the wetsuit. Tabs stick it down, diagonal zip. They use top quality zip. It's the YKK zip from Seaskins. Metal zip, really robust, won't seize up with salt, and also hopefully should last a long time. The inside of the suit is brought up nice and high. 2 pieces of neoprene together. Make sure that any water that does come in through the collar or through the chest is guided out through the wetsuit. You've got a drain hole down here on the arm inside the chest zip system, and you've got one round the back as well, and that basically drains out any water that gets into the chest zip system. Inside of the collar, it's nice and smooth. Make sure that it doesn't cause you any rubbing or chafing, and also it's a single line collar, so you don't get that roll neck collar that you get with some suits. Some people, the roll neck collars are a bit better at keeping out water because they're obviously tighter around your neck, but they're quite uncomfortable sometimes. So I prefer that single line collar, which basically does a good job of keeping the water out, but also is a little bit more comfy. Okay, now you've got that, I think it's a magnetic zip now with the tab. It's the all new little thing that they're all doing, but that might just be on the key pouch. Someone could let me know that. But basically, you've got a magnetic zipper on some part. If I find it, I'll let you know. But basically, that's the chest zip system. On the outside of the wetsuit, you've got power seam, which is super stretch technology. What I'll do is I'll turn the suit inside out, so you can have a little look on the inside. And there's a lot of new technology lying within. Primarily is the dry knit lining, which is similar to the flash dry lining, which is pretty much the same stuff actually. I'll turn it inside out and have a little look at that. Okay, so here's the inside of the Seaskins Hot Wired wetsuit for 2014 into 2015. The winter wetsuit. One thing that's worth mentioning as well is the air insulation technology. Hopefully most of you will be familiar with it now. So basically that's that kind of honeycomb neoprene on the chest and back panel. So where I said the smooth skin mesh was before, they've retained that sort of air insulation neoprene as well. So it's basically a layer inside the neoprene which has potholes in it in a honeycomb effect, and what that does is trap hot air as it leaves your body and retains it inside that sort of like chest and back panel, which basically acts as another layer of insulation. So actually using your own body heat to insulate you through the air technology. So that's still kept within the lumbar and the chest panel, so that's worth mentioning. But here we are, the inside of the suit. So that blue neoprene is the super stretch neoprene running through the whole suit, and then on the inside of the panel here you've got that dry knit lining, and basically this is a really fluffy material, very similar, well exactly the same, to the Rip Curl Polypro, the flash dry lining, flash bomb lining. Billabong have got their own version, XL have got the Quick Dry Pro, whatever it's called, Quick Pro Dry lining, I don't know, there's so many of them now, but essentially it's all the same material, and basically what it is a back combed Polypro, which is really fluffy to the touch. And what this does is dries very quickly. That's probably the principal selling benefit. Dries within 15 minutes, so the benefit of that is obviously most of us have only got one winter wetsuit, and so if it dries in 15 minutes it's much more pleasant to get back into, because if you get back into a cold wet wetsuit for a second surf, it's really hard to stay warm if you're already cold, so it's definitely a bonus to have a drier wetsuit. But it's also really good at insulating you as well, that kind of fluffy effect. I don't know how much of it is psychological, but getting into a fluffy wetsuit does keep you nice and warm. I think it's basically more area for heat to sort of get trapped and then insulate you and keep you warmer. But also that material is very good at retaining heat or insulating it and reflecting it back into your body so you stay warmer. Okay, but the primary benefit is basically the quick drying properties. So it pulls moisture out of the fabric and then it goes onto the little top of the fibres and then dries really quickly, but also keeps that water away from your body, which keeps you warmer for longer. So that lining is the whole way through the suit. Okay, front and back. And if that doesn't keep you warm, I don't know what will. That combined with the sort of 5mm neoprene, a nice thick neoprene, and the 4mm around the upper body, and all the other sort of technology, it is one of the warmest wetsuits on the market, but without costing too much as well. So it's a little bit cheaper, about 30 quid cheaper than most of the high-end suits, but with the same technology. So that's why we do like Seaskins. And as long as the fit is good, you'll be really happy with the wetsuit. You've got that taping the whole way through, Seaskins taping. Again, same technology Whipco are using, and really robust, reinforces the wetsuit. This is the wetsuit that I wore last year, not this exact one. It had a different version of the sort of polypro lining, but essentially a very similar suit, and it was really good. Hard to get in and out of. How sort of fragile they are in terms of those power seams. We haven't had too many problems, and the ones that we have had back, Seaskins, the guys down there, sort of, because this is their flagship suit, they've been really good at dealing with them, so so the warranty hasn't been a problem. But as long as you look after the suit, wash it with fresh water, don't pull it too much, or stand on it in a gravel car park, you should be okay. But having said that, it's definitely a Wetsuit Centre recommendation as one of the sort of top-end suits, or top suits with this technology going on for 2014 into 2015.